Tonight we're going to be doing a couple of spooky games. Something a little bit different. Something that you may have seen on YouTube because I am unoriginal. But I drink while I do it. Tonight we're going to do some Lovecraftian horror games. Should be pretty quick. Afterwards we might do something a little bit different. I don't know. But we're going to start off with a black screen. Spooky. I hate y'all. I hate y'all so much. We're gonna start off with Dagon. If you haven't read any Lovecraftian horror, Dagon is actually pretty good. It's about a dude who says he's not fucking crazy, but he's crazy. You might have seen this game already. Some of you haven't. You've been trying to reach me about my car's extended warranty. What kind of car do I drive? I'll wait. What kind of car is it? Is it a car? Maybe a truck. Could be a fucking El Camino, for all you know. Tell me what car I drive and I'll talk to you about my car's extended warranty. Landon, don't help! Stop it. I knew that comment was coming. Fucking stop it. Okay. Let's get the pickup. What pickup? Angelo, you don't know. How does Angelo know? How the fuck does some people... Oh, I have pictures on my Facebook. What kind of pickup is it? Bitch! Don't y'all fucking start with me. Angelo, thank you so much for the like. Or your Chevrolets, your Toyota, your Lamborghinis. Goddamn right, do we call it the Batamobile? I do now have a station wagon. White, Tundra, Subi. Nope, wrong. Well, not anymore. Shit, I do have a Subi now. Two-door. I don't have the... Oh, I do. I technically own another Honda. I actually sold my Subaru and then was given another Subaru, so... Light blue Honda. I don't have a light blue Honda. It has wheels. Which one? They all have wheels. Some of them have two sets. Anyways, can we just fucking start? Can we, please? Todd, thank you for the like. You're the most biggest supporter I have that doesn't talk shit. The one you were selling, a couple windows, it has wheels, couple windows. Yeah, at least a couple. It at least has a window. The question is, what car do I have? Because people are trying to talk to me on my car's extended warranty. That's a whole fucking thing. Fuck you! Oh my god! I'm starting. Fuck you, I'm starting. Fuck all y'all. Dagon is a faithful, interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. Let's do it.
I'm appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh, damn's drugs. I don't... A chord fusion. Chord fusion, not a chord fusion. Alright, hold on, we're gonna move. Can I move this whole fucking thing? Nope. Well, we're gonna move this one by one. I guess we should put it up here. Don't mind me. Up, 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 up! Stop it! Stop it. Stop it. Can I just free move this fucking thing? I fucking hate... Whatever! Fuck! That's fine. Alright, pay attention, children! Does my bird ever go for truck rides? No. No, he does not, because he will probably think he can fly. Anyways, not playing with y'all no more. Pay attention. Drugs. That's a needle. I don't know if y'all should be able to see that. That's a needle. Alright. During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey, or others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes. Okay. So I focus with that. And look for the elder sign. Okay, see the elder sign. You can also access all the found facts later. They will be available in the main menu. Fantastic. So I look for... Oh, I want to look for an elder sign. Where's that at? Oh, okay. There's got to be something. What? What? Okay. Cool, we're going.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
That's my middle name. Y'all don't know. Garrett, spelled exactly like that. No two T's.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Jenna, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate that. Probably. I'm gonna move that for now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna try if these guys would stop talking shit! A lot of morphine, eh? Wait, I gotta look for the thing. I see no... That book. That page. Gotta be something here, man. Alright. What that? What that?
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
My name is Bo Exotic. If you don't know, now you do. Alright, it was once one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet, of which I was supercargo, fell a victim to the German sea raider. Yeah, it looks pretty pissed off. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep looking around until I find a secret.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Hope that hurt your ears. My name is Bo Exotic, sir. Fucking everywhere here. Pay attention. Where am I going? Ooh. The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans. In order to emphasize their brutality, however, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on 27th July 1900 before they embarked to China. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls... I don't know how to... it should be German, shouldn't it? Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited. What? Oh my god. I'm neat. All right, shut up. Just as 1,000 years ago, the Huns under their king Attila made a name for themselves, one that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. That's racist. The refusal to take prisoners was a clear breach of the law and customs of war adopted during the first Hague Convention of 1899. Fuck. Hug you? I'm gonna go with Hague. Someone correct me. I know y'all fucking will. To be or not to be, Bo Exotic, that is the question is.
That 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time. When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Yeah. We'll find the North Star,
Never
dumbass.
a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Also maybe partially blind. Everything's blurry. Wear glasses. Also, if you haven't read this, it's really good. Like, really good fucking short story. And this is the whole story, from what I know. Where am I going? What am I looking for? Oh, the moon.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land. But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
Staring at the sun will not fix your problems, sir.
The change happened whilst I slept. Its details I shall never know, for my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
That's a fucking thing.
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black
That's sand?
fire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Is that what you consider an undulation right there? That's gross.
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
That thing has legs. What the fuck is that? Okay.
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
What is that? What is glowing right there? Did I click on
The
that?
region was
Oh, no.
putrid with the carcasses
Okay.
of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
That's a cephalopod. I don't even think that's considered a fish.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet. As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
That doesn't bother you right there? That doesn't... All of this seems normal and you're like rational minded about this?
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
I actually haven't had the blue ones. Only had the red ones. So I'm gonna say red. But hot Cheetos over everything. Hot Cheetos are the best. That's my answer.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things. For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Fight that motherfucker. I mean, hot Cheetos are good, but they do make your mouth water as much as a fresh bag of Takis. I mean, I don't hear Takis and get like, oh shit, Takis. I hear tacos and like hot Cheetos and beer, and I'm like, oh shit, Takis, hot Cheetos, and beer. Not Takis, sorry. What did I just say? Anyways, you get what the fuck I'm saying.
On the
Tacos,
third morning,
not
I
Takis.
found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Walk right over the dead thing.
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
That's one of the fucking things from Starship Troopers. Promise you. Deadass, no cap. That's a thing from fucking Starship Troopers. It's one of the bugs. Guaranteed. That's a whale. I would imagine these are like spider crabs. I don't really know. I don't know.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still traveled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
That's the fucking devil.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Sorry, my dogs were barking, but I thought that was in game and that really bothered me.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night. But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more,
Sure, I appreciate the like, but if you scare me like that again, we're gonna have fucking problems.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon, I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without
shit.
the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence. I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Can I not look down anymore?
I felt myself on the edge of the world,
Mine.
peering
Oh,
over
there
the
we go.
rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness.
There's light. That light just show up?
As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Okay.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
I fucking love this story.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
What would you do? Go towards it.
That it was
I am a little
merely
scared.
gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
I love this story. I actually have a whole Lovecraft book on just like short stories, and it's an amazing book. But when you make a game and it's a giant fucking square, rectangle, cube, whatever you call it, monolith, and then say, I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. Have you ever fucking seen just a cube? Ever? I haven't. That's just me. Maybe you have. I don't know.
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express. For despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith.
No shit. Good story.
Whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Okay. Shall we examine?
near the zenith shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that
Oh,
hemmed in
shit.
the chasm.
I don't know if y'all can see a good view of that.
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures. The writing was in a system of hieroglyphs.
Oh, I guess you can see it now.
Unknown to me, and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books.
That's a turtle! Victor, thanks so much for the share, man. I appreciate that.
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
That's fucking Cthulhu.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain.
All Cthulhu? I didn't see Cthulhu. Am I missing something?
It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Alright. Storytelling methods. Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City, journals and characters' notes, the Shadow Out of Time, the Haunter of the Dark, Islands Emerging from the Ocean, the Call of Cthulhu. If you haven't read that, you fucking should. For fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, Migo and the Whisper of Darkness. It also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order to not spoil the ending. Yeah, you fucking better not.
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré.
Cthulhu up there, and I just fucking realized that.
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men, though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Hey, paying homage to Edgar Allan Poe and Bulwer. Alright. That's cool. That's a cool fucking face. Whoever did the art in here is fucking amazing.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background.
I like that. I really like that. That he gives so much description and then does a line like that, like too grotesque to say. It leaves a lot to the imagination, which is really fucking cool.
For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself. I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born. Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
Oh, what? Ooh. Ooh.
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh, fuck!
Fiend-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the marvel, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
No, what is it? I want to see more of it.
I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Fucking run, dude.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Oh, shit.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate,
Nothing's looking at me.
I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital. Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing.
Where's my legs? I ain't got no legs!
Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
I'm just ahead. That. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Howard was a skilled wordsmith. I didn't know his first name was Howard. But he also took criticism to heart, which resulted in a decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again for the first time since his teenage years. Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. In this example excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than a conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments and at the proper time take advantage of their new, more altruistic, I'm a fucking idiot, and less astute, contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is or ever can be above warfare until the basic impulses of human animals shall have miraculously changed. That's still true. Nope.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
That's cool. Dagon, I guess would be another pronunciation, was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison warder as one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's works, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that reside in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Morphine. Is that morphine? Or is that where you're gonna get your drugs? Yeah, fucking druggy. I don't know why it kept making me look down there. Weird.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did
The
not press my
Necronomicon.
boundaries.
Alright, August Derleth? I don't know. Was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company, Arkham House. Hey, that's pretty cool. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Delbert was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misinterpreted in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth, after the author left the mortal plane. What? After, okay. Assuming after he died. Anywhere else? What am I doing? Oh, what the fuck just happened? TikTok. What's that? Why did I go over there? Did I miss something? Someone tell me if I missed something.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
That needle moved.
So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men. Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm, a mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed.
That explains my fear of the ocean so well.
Ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
That's so fucking cool.
The end is near.
That.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
Open it.
It shall not find me.
It fucking might. What was that? Something just flashed.
God, that
Fuck
hand.
off.
The window. The window.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Well. That was fucking cool. That was super fucking cool. Let me know what you thought about that. They also have this little thing right here. Dagon, the Little Glass Bottle DLC. And the Eldritch Box DLC. If y'all want to see either of those, let me know. and I will get them downloaded and we can fucking do that. That was fucking spooky.